Love, family bonds are always emphasized and highly regarded throughout the Kimetsu no Yaiba anime series. However, not every character can maintain their human essence to choose the path of light and hope, escaping the torment, suffering to the extremes of fate. Let's delve into the story of Upper Moon Three Akaza, one of the strongest demons and possessing one of the most tragic stories in Kimetsu no Yaiba. Warning to all viewers, this video will contain some spoilers. Please consider carefully before watching. But if you're ready, let's dive into the video together. His real name is Hakuji. He was raised in difficult circumstances under the care of his father in the slums of Japan. Economically, it was always a burden for Hakuji's family, with both father and son suffering from severe illness. This led him to choose a life of theft to earn money for his father's medicine. But the life of crime for Hakuji eventually came at a high cost. His thieving activities eventually caught up with him, and he was arrested for trial. During this time, theft was considered a serious crime, even punishable by death, and lighter sentences still resulted in physical branding to serve as a reminder to others never to break the law. Bearing the mark of a criminal on one's body was enough to strip away all societal standing, as the community ostracized and ridiculed them. No one would dare to employ or even associate with someone marked by the stigma of crime. This alone was enough to drive a person to lose all sense of reason and contemplate suicide, rather than live in the scorn and shame of society. Hakuji faced a similar fate. He was tortured by the judge, subjected to beatings, threats of amputation, and branded with the mark of a criminal. The judge even gave him the nickname Son of a Demon. After being arrested and beaten multiple times, life dealt him another fatal blow when he heard from the villagers that his father had hanged himself upon hearing the news of his son being beaten for theft. His father left behind a heartfelt letter, expressing his desire for Hakuji to live a happier, better life and not to continue buying medicine with illegal money. With the mark of a criminal on his body and no home to return to, Hakuji was eventually expelled from Edo, his hometown, by the authorities. Grieving over his father's death and enraged by a rotten society where a person had no way to earn money to buy medicine for his father, Hakuji turned to the path of a thug, resorting to robbery, extortion, and murder to seek revenge on life. One day, after nearly killing 7 people in a village by himself, a stranger approached him. That person was Keizo, the owner of a martial arts dojo in the village. Keizo tried to talk and persuade Hakuji with an optimistic and cheerful spirit to avoid resorting to violence. However, this only made him more uncomfortable and angry, leading to a confrontation between the two. But with his well-trained martial arts skills, Keizo easily defeated Hakuji. After the battle, Keizo took him in as his disciple and entrusted him with the responsibility of taking care of his only daughter, Koyuki, who was also suffering from a chronic illness. Keizo's circumstances were similarly tragic to Hakuji's, as his wife also committed suicide due to financial pressures and the responsibility of caring for their young daughter. Keizo struggled even more and had to take on other manual labor jobs to sustain his family's income. With experience caring for his deceased father, Hakuji didn't encounter too many difficulties in taking care of Koyuki, but sometimes felt awkward when the little girl cried, not knowing how to handle it. Once, feeling particularly flustered, Hakuji unintentionally comforted her with the words, "There will always be fireworks next year," when she missed watching the village fireworks display due to her health condition. One day, the successor of a swordsmanship dojo in the area came to find Keizo in order to force him to hand over the dojo to them and to take Koyuki away. It was then that Hakuji learned that those people had prohibited Keizo from accepting new students, leading him to his current plight. Angered by the interference of those individuals, both Keizo and Hakuji engaged in a decisive battle with them and emerged victorious. After defeating 9 thugs, Hakuji forced the dojo owner to swear never to return to the Soria dojo and, especially, never to harm a single hair on Koyuki's head. Eventually, everyone withdrew and left in peace. 2 years passed quickly, and Koyuki's health gradually improved better than ever. She was able to walk on her own and do household chores. Meanwhile, Hakuji had also matured since officially becoming Keizo's disciple, continuing to train in the Soria martial arts. During this time, the Soria dojo also gradually grew stronger, admitting numerous disciples for training. This partly alleviated Keizo's financial burden. The three of them gradually became a complete family with a happier life than they could have imagined. It was nearing adulthood. Keizo decided to choose Hakuji as his successor to the dojo and proposed to marry Koiki, surprising him and making him somewhat hesitant. Of course, Hakuji agreed, promising himself that he would protect his loved ones, even if it meant risking his own life. During a festival outing with Koiki, she recounted her entire past and asked if Hakuji truly felt comfortable with her father's proposal. What Koiki didn't know was that he was genuinely committed to his choice and reaffirmed to her with his vow that he would protect her and her father for the rest of their lives. But once again, the irony of fate did not allow him to remain at peace indefinitely. The engagement between Hakuji and Koiki had also reached the ears of that swordsman dojo owner, who had harbored a grudge for the past 2 years, desiring revenge someday. He sent a group of swordsmen to the Soria dojo to kill Hakuji, but they failed once again. This victory marked only the beginning of a tragic ending in Hakuji's life. After visiting his late father's grave and sharing news about his new life and upcoming wedding, Hakuji returned to the dojo in shock to find both his wife and stepfather had been killed. During his absence, the dojo owner had poisoned the well of the Soria dojo. Both of his remaining loved ones inadvertently drank the poisoned water and perished. Blinded by anger, Hakuji visited the swordsmanship dojo, killing all 67 members mercilessly with his own hands. He beat them to the point where their bodies were contorted beyond recognition. This event caught the attention of someone notorious, someone everyone knew without needing to mention, Kibutsuji Muzan. However, when he came to find Hakuji, Muzan was partly disappointed yet surprised to discover that the perpetrator of the brutal massacre was a human, not a demon. Ultimately, Muzan decided to extend an offer, wanting to turn Hakuji into a demon to serve under him because he saw the potential and understood the desperation and hatred within him towards humanity. With no loved ones left to protect, nothing left to lose, and no will to live in the body of a human, Hakuji was willing to become a demon and join the ranks of the 12 Kazuki, taking the name Akaza. After officially being resurrected in the guise of a ruthless demon, Akaza lost all his previous memories as a human and lived with a single purpose, to become stronger, though he wasn't sure why he craved power so intensely. This desire propelled him quickly to the position of Upper Rank 3, making him one of the most dangerous demons in the entire series. However, Akaza also had his own rule, never to harm or eat women. This might be because deep in his subconscious, memories of his love for Koiki from his human days still lingered somewhere in Akaza's mind. Akaza's exceptional strength, along with absolute loyalty and a relentless will to become stronger, made him one of the most favored demons by Muzan within the 12 Kazuki ranks. He was highly esteemed by Muzan and was only assigned to carry out particularly important missions, such as searching for the blue spider lily. Throughout his hundreds of years as a demon, Akaza clashed with many Hashira of the Demon Slayer Corps, and in all these encounters, he expressed his desire to turn the Hashira into demons due to his instinctual fascination with their innate strength and fighting spirit. However, the response he always received was rejection, as the Hashira all desired to maintain their humanity, leaving Akaza puzzled and wondering what was so special about being human. In the battle between Akaza and Flame Hashira Kyujuri Rengoku, he also faced rejection from Rengoku despite his tempting offers. Although not explicitly stated, this was also the first time he encountered a user of the flame breathing technique, indicating that he had never confronted any previous Flame Hashira before. 50 years before the major battle between demons and the Demon Slayer Corps, Akaza had also clashed with a former Water Hashira whom he regarded as one of the most skilled opponents in breathing techniques he had ever encountered, until he engaged in combat with the current Water Hashira, Tomioka Ju. What fate awaits Akaza? All will be answered in the upcoming developments of the anime series Kimetsu no Yaiba. Or you can read the manga to find out more. Appearing predominantly in the form of a demon, Akaza has a muscular physique with a youthful face. Since he became a demon at the age of 18, His hair and eyelashes have had a distinctive pink color, along with his golden-eyed kanji characters. Akaza's body is adorned with green tattoos, reminiscent of those of criminals in Japanese history. He also takes meticulous care of his nails, painting them orange for both his toenails and fingernails. The coloring undoubtedly makes them stronger than usual. His attire is quite simple, consisting of white trousers and a sleeveless shirt matching the color of his hair. Akaza prefers to go barefoot rather than wearing shoes, and he wears 2 pink bead necklaces around his ankles. In his human form as Hakuji, his appearance is similar, except his hair is black, and he wears a yukata, preferring sandals over going barefoot. Perhaps the most notable feature in his human form is his unusual pink eyelids. It's puzzling how a masculine character like him has everything listed so far in pink. Possessing immense strength, Akaza is also stubborn and battle-crazed. He sees fighting as a leisurely pastime, helping him alleviate boredom, especially when facing worthy opponents like the Pillars. He is confident in his strength to the extent that he deliberately prolongs fights to relish every moment of bloodshed as much as possible. Along with this, he continuously praises his opponents whenever they unleash their strongest and most visually appealing techniques, even if these techniques do not inflict any damage on him. He always shows respect to strong individuals, insisting on addressing them by their names properly and persistently asking until they reveal their identities to him. He engraves these names in his mind because they are milestones proving his almost invincible strength. Even individuals who were once considered weak, like Tanjiro, are valued and respected by Akaza. He commended Tanjiro and praised him when he saw him become much stronger during their first encounter on the Infinity Train. He also partly thanked the Flame Hashira, who played a significant role in Tanjiro's remarkable growth. Akaza also always creates opportunities for the strong to become even stronger by turning them into demons, abandoning their limited human bodies, and advancing to a higher form of existence. He believes that preserving martial arts techniques is extremely necessary, so sacrificing the human form to become immortal is essential and extremely trivial compared to Akaza's philosophy of craving ultimate power. The human body is merely a physical barrier and a constraint of time, while the strong can discard them to reach new heights or gain new insights into martial arts or power in general. Akaza prefers to kill those gifted with innate talents by their superiors to preserve their wonders, rather than watching them gradually fade away over time without making any progress in the search for the truth of true strength. All of these aspects are partly due to Akaza's nature as a martial artist and his martial spirit when he was still human. His life philosophy also heavily echoes the principles of social Darwinism, believing that nature always favors the strong, while the weak are eliminated. This social Darwinist ideology partly stems from the incident where Keizo and Koike were ruthlessly poisoned by heartless swordsmen, leading to his hatred reaching its peak, to the point of ingraining itself into his essence upon becoming a demon. Akaza is ready to openly show disdain towards the weak, timid, and lacking in fighting spirit, to the extent that even a mere glance at them can enrage him. For him, these individuals have only one inevitable outcome: death. Akaza himself has a tight psychological bond, as he always craves for a greater strength, to the extent that he sees all members of the 12 Kazuki as rivals, especially those ranked above him. Akaza is always ready to spar with Doma, while he swears to one day be strong enough to defeat the Upper Moon. His willpower and desire to become stronger are terrifying to the point that even when his head is severed by the water pillar, Tomioka Ju, his body continues to fight, disregarding all weaknesses after taking a fatal blow from Ju's Nichiren sword. Akaza also harbors resentment and hatred towards his past as a human. Although he has lost all his old memories, his hatred for humans, along with the humiliation and failures of his past, still linger in Akaza's mind, influencing his demon personality. Akaza's stubbornness and defiance are also inherited from his former human self. Hakuji's affection for his father made him willing to endure the fate of a criminal, enduring endless beatings just to earn enough money to buy medicine for his father. This partly reflects Hakuji's human nature and his love for his relatives, being willing to sacrifice his own interests to care for others. Upon meeting Koyuki and Keizo, this aspect of Hakuji's character continues to be evident as he takes care of Koyuki and helps Keizo without complaining. Although this is not entirely his responsibility to bear, and they don't even have any blood relation with him. It is Koyuki who left the most indelible memory in Akaza's subconscious, making him never harm any woman. Upon awakening to his past during the final battle, Akaza realizes that throughout the years, he failed to keep the promise made in his father's dying words and has desecrated the Soria martial arts passed down from Keizo, turning it into a tool for killing. Everything went completely contrary to what his former identity had lived by and held as the guiding principle of his life. He also comes to realize, after centuries of existence, that during the most crucial moments, when his loved ones needed him the most, he was entirely absent to protect them. Akaza also acknowledges that the one he resents the most, no one but himself, is the one most deserving of death at this point. With the remaining hint of humanity, Akaza thanks Tanjiro, for it is through him that he has regained his memories and accepted defeat with humility and respect. Standing at the third position in the Upper Moon Demons, Akaza's power is something we don't need to debate too much about. His sensory abilities, recovery, and physical strength far surpass those of lower-ranking demons by many times. He has successfully defeated countless demon slayers and various pillars throughout his lifetime, including the most recent Flame Pillar. Most notably is his mastery of martial arts, allowing him to easily confront any opponent head-on, even those wielding Nichiren swords without needing a weapon himself. The ability to sense the aura of his opponents is also a trump card in Akaza's arsenal, enabling him to anticipate their moves, quickly adapt to any attacks thrown at him, along with analyzing the strengths and weaknesses of his opponents. Akaza's intuitive abilities can still be amplified in physical form through the Ration technique he employs. In the Ration state, the radius of Akaza's intuitive senses is expanded, allowing him to easily sense enemies from afar. Not only can he sense the fighting spirit emanating from humans, demons, or any living beings, but Akaza can also assess the strength of his opponent with just a glance. These abilities are partly honed from his time as a human as well. As a human child, he was able to defeat and overpower an adult without undergoing any self-defense or martial arts training. By the age of 18, Akaza had become one of the strongest martial artists of the Soria style, single-handedly killing 67 swordsmen with just his fists. A feat even the demon lord Muzan did not expect a human to accomplish. Upon becoming a demon, all his innate abilities were magnified, making him an extremely dangerous demon with unparalleled strength. Due to containing a large amount of Muzan's blood in his body, his regenerative and body control abilities are also extraordinary. We can clearly see this ability in his battle with the Flame Pillar, where despite his body being continuously slashed, he could immediately recover in battle without needing rest. He even punched through the Flame Pillar's attack despite his arm being severed. Simply put, his overwhelming regenerative ability can overpower any injury. This makes Akaza possess an astonishing and almost infinite level of physical endurance. This is truly a concerning aspect for anyone who has to face him. A small fun fact, Akaza is the only one who ever took Tanjiro's decapitation strike without suffering any damage, even sending Tanjiro a compliment for his effort. All these factors turn Akaza into a bloodthirsty monster with combat prowess and a fierce desire to become the strongest. His clashes with the Demon Slayer Corps are nothing but strength tests for Akaza, and after each victory, he becomes even stronger. His power gradually accumulates over hundreds of years of fighting, shaping his body into a weapon while honing his combat abilities tactically and sharper than ever. Every punch or kick from Akaza can easily destroy any object. Just a graze is enough to cut through the flesh of a normal person. And if it connects fully, it will surely crush bones and flesh. Each strike is enough to shake the heavens and earth, causing tremors in the surrounding area, and when combined with his blood demon art, Akaza can easily level an entire area with just one punch. So if you don't want to get punched, remember to subscribe to the channel. The final finishing move is Shishiki, Eijin Ranzenko. This technique is distilled from all the martial arts essence Akaza has enlightened after hundreds of years. He unleashes a series of shockwaves in all directions by throwing consecutive punches. This technique is so powerful that it can completely break through the 11th form of the water pillar, a technique known for its absolute defense. And that's the biography and story of the Upper Moon Three Akaza, a struggler throughout his life searching for something called absolute strength, only to find at the end of his journey that the greatest strength of all is human connection, family bond. Akaza, born not into wealth and luxury, faced a tragic fate, losing his parents, being ostracized by society, seemingly reaching its end until Koyuki and Keizo entered his life. But it's humanity, not demonhood, that turned Akaza into a monster consumed by deep-seated hatred. Akaza's story also illustrates how, sometimes, it's not a demon that corrupts humans, but humans themselves. Driven by greed, envy, and jealousy, humans can do anything, even harm their own kind to satisfy these temptations, leaving behind devastating consequences for others. This has been evident throughout human history, leading to a series of events that inflict unwarranted losses upon innocent bystanders. What do you think about Upper Moon 3 Akaza? Leave your thoughts in the comments section below. Remember to like, share to support our channel, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button, along with the notification bell, so you don't miss out on future videos. Thank you for watching. See you in the next videos.